Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating, the Bahá'í view of prayer. And we're not just talking about a simple ritual here. We're going to look at it as a deep, spiritual conversation, one that's meant to literally transform who we are right down to our very character.
And this quote from Baha'u'llah, wow, it just gets right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? Prayer isn't just about saying words. It's talked about here as this incredibly active force. You've got a fire that purifies and a light that guides. So this idea that prayer is a real agent of change, that's going to be our central theme today.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into the power of prayer itself. Then we'll get into what it really means to have a conversation with God. From there, we'll tackle the whole spirit versus form thing, see how this all translates into real-world action, and wrap up by looking at how prayer helps build a vibrant, devotional community. Sound good? Let's jump in. All right, first up, the power of prayer. You see, in the Bahá'í view, prayer is anything but a passive wish. It's more like tapping into this incredible spiritual force, a direct channel for divine influence to flow right into our lives.
And just look at this. These are the kinds of effects we're talking about when you engage with the divine word. And it's not abstract, airy-fairy stuff. We're talking about a force that can literally breathe new life into you, completely change your character, unlock doors you thought were sealed shut forever, and even act like a healing medicine for your soul. The big takeaway here, this is about real, practical, fundamental change.
Okay, so if prayer is that powerful, then what exactly is it? This next part really moves us past the idea of just asking for things. It defines prayer as something much, much deeper, a true conversation that actually nourishes the soul. And here it is, the core definition itself. A couple of things really jump out, right? Essential spiritual conversation, and direct and without intermediation. No middleman needed. But for me, the most powerful image here is spiritual food. Think about it. Just like our bodies need food to live, the idea here is that our spirits need this direct conversation with God to survive, to be sustained, and to truly thrive. And look at the results, the fruits of that conversation. The language is just beautiful, so poetic, but the message is crystal clear. This isn't just wishful thinking. Prayer brings freshness. It cleanses us of our ego and self-obsession. It burns away those veils we talked about in that first quote. And in the end, it helps the soul just soar.
But of course, it's not just about what you say, right? It's about the state of your heart when you're saying it. And that brings us to this really important balance between the inner feeling, the spirit of prayer, and the outer practice.
I love how this slide lays it all out. On one side, you have the spirit of prayer, which is all internal, right? It's about spirituality, purity, and sincere focused attention. But then you look at the other side, the form, and the guidance is all about not being rigid. Simplicity is the key. Personal communion is what really matters. It makes the point so perfectly. The feeling behind the words is way more important than sticking to some strict formula. Okay, this is a really crucial point. Prayer isn't meant to be the end of the story. In the Bahá'í framework, it's actually just the starting point. It's the beginning of a process that has to connect our inner world with our outer actions. And what's the bridge that connects the two? It's meditation. And this quote from Abdul Baha really nails it. It provides that vital link. So prayer connects us to God, but meditation, well, meditation is the key. It's the tool that lets us actually unlock and understand the insights and mysteries we find when we're in that spiritual space. And here's how that process looks in practice. It's a clear, actionable cycle. Step 1, you pray and study to get inspired. Step 2, you meditate to figure out, okay, how do I apply this? Then, and this is so important, step 3, you get up and you act on it through service. And finally, you just keep going. You persevere, trusting that the very act of doing something opens the door to even more guidance. It's a dynamic loop, you see, not just sitting around and thinking. This quote just sums it all up so beautifully. The end goal isn't just to say prayers. The ultimate goal is for your actions, day by day, helping people, serving your community, for those actions to become beautiful prayers in themselves. All right, for our last section, let's zoom out a little. Let's see how all this individual practice doesn't just stay with one person, but actually expands outward, creating this collective spiritual energy. We're shifting our focus now from the individual to the whole community. So why bother gathering together for worship? I mean, if prayer is so personal, what's the point? Well, this chart shows it's about so much more than just a social get-together. These devotional gatherings are seen as these powerful engines for building unity, for awakening everyone's spiritual side, and for literally shaping the devotional character of the entire community. And this really gets to the core of why it's all so vital. It's considered absolutely essential. The writings actually warn that without this kind of spiritual communion, religion can just become a mere organization, a dead thing. It's the prayer and meditation that keep that mystic feeling alive, that living, breathing heart of faith. And that brings us full circle, back to where we started. Remember that idea of prayer as a fire that burns away the veils? So I guess the question I want to leave you with is this. If we really engage with that fire, what views that we hold about ourselves, about other people, about the world, what might it actually have the power to change?